Hi, it's Paul Maunder from Production Expert. In this video, I'll be demonstrating how we can use the automation mode feature in Accentize Chameleon Surround to switch between reverb profiles. This feature is useful when you have a session which requires different reverb settings at different times and locations throughout the timeline. As an alternative to running multiple instances of the Chameleon Surround reverb plugin, where we'd have one for each and every individual reverb profile required, we can instead use automation mode within a single instance of the plugin to switch profiles as needed based on where we are in the session. This is a good option in cases where we don't need reverbs to overlap, but you perhaps want to save on CPU resources by running fewer plugins and switching those reverb profiles as needed. If you haven't seen or used Chameleon Surround before, it's a multi-channel reverb plugin supporting channel counts up to 9.1.6 for Dolby Atmos. Its key feature is the ability to mimic the reverb of existing recordings. For me, this is particularly useful in audio post when matching ADR to location dialogue. I made a video about this previously, which you can find on Production Expert. Now though, let's get automation mode up and running. I have some dialogue on this track, along with a send to a 7.1 aux track, which is running an instance of Chameleon Surround. Going into the library section, this is where we can choose from a wide array of different reverb profiles, all of which were captured in real spaces. As you create and save your own profiles, you'll see them here too. I'm going to enable automation mode by clicking this little button at the top right, and now I can select different profiles just by clicking on them. And then, once I've selected the ones I want, that seems like a decent selection, I can now click on Load Selected to Automation. And as you can see, it's loading those profiles. Now, closing the library window, we can see those slots displayed at the top of the plugin. To make one of these the active slot, I can click on the play icon for any of them. So that's now the active reverb profile, and it tells me here which slot is active. You can actually drag these to other slots if you want to, just like that. Now, to actually automate the switching of these reverbs, we need to auto-enable the slot index automation parameter. One way to do this, if you're using Pro Tools, is to hold down Control, Option and Command, and then click on any of your loaded profiles. And then we can choose to enable slot index automation. Okay, if we go into the track view selector for this particular track, you can see that that parameter is now there, and this can be automated just like any other parameter. One way to do this is to use the trim tool to choose and apply a setting for any given clip, or rather, section of the timeline. In fact, it's a good idea to actually make sure that you allow for the reverb tail to finish before switching profiles. So in actual fact, I'll make selections which encompass both the section of audio plus a little bit more afterwards. Let's do this for the first two clips. So that, and then let's go with that. Okay, so let's take a listen to this and see how Chameleon Surround switches between profiles for those first two clips. This is scene 1, we have a particular reverb. Scene 2, and we've now switched to a different reverb profile. Perfect, so we had a reverb profile for the first one, and then Chameleon Surround switched to the other one, just the way we automated it. I want to show you a different way, in fact the way I prefer to do this. So I'm going to select a section I want, but this time, rather than adjusting the automation using trim, or perhaps by adding breakpoints with a grabber, I'll select a reverb profile using the play button next to the setting I want, and now I'll use the Pro Tools feature Write to Current, which is Command / on the keyboard. As you can see, that's locked in those settings across my selection. The Write to Current feature, current being what's currently shown, of course relies on the particular automation lane being visible, so in this case that's of course slot index automation. Now I'll do the same thing for the final part, so make a selection, choose a parameter in Chameleon Surround, and then do Command /. Okay, let's play it through. This is scene 1, we have a particular reverb. Scene 2, and we've now switched to a different reverb profile. Scene 3, once again, we've switched the reverb profile using Chameleon Surround. And scene 4, guess what? We've got another reverb profile. So that's the automation mode feature in Accentize Chameleon Surround. As you saw, this provides a useful way to switch reverb profiles throughout your session, meaning you don't need to run multiple instances of the plugin. For more information on Chameleon Surround, visit the Production Expert blog or go to accentize.com. Thanks for watching.